Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school, children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
So children, our lesson for today is a lesson in standard 7th. The subject is English, and as you can see on the screen, there are lots of animals, isn't it? So have you guessed? This lesson is about animals, but it is not about the life of animals. It is something that we have borrowed from these animals, and that is we are going to learn yoga from these animals. So this is lesson number 2.5 in your English textbook. So this lesson, children, is about yoga, and it is also about animals. So we are going to learn a lot of new things in this lesson. We are going to learn a lot of new terms like biomimicry. We will try and understand what it means. All right. We will also see how the yoga helps us, how when you practice yoga, when you learn yoga, how you start becoming healthy, not only in the body but also in the mind. Okay, and in this lesson you will also see how we have borrowed from nature, not only in ways of doing exercises like yoga, but also in many inventions, in many machines that we use. So this lesson is going to be interesting, and also it is going to be very informative for you. But children, this is a long lesson, so we will be doing the first half today, and the second half I will give it to you next week in the next video. Alright, so come on, let's go to our lesson for today and let's start learning about yoga from animals. So what is yoga, children? Now we celebrate yoga day every year in the month of June, isn't it? 21st of June every year is celebrated as the International Yoga Day. So that day all of us do these kind of yoga postures, we do yoga exercises, we have a yoga drill in school, isn't it? So see many small children like you doing yoga. So when you do yoga, what do? You train your mind, you train your body, and you become healthy as an individual. So let us talk about yoga and what are these particular exercises in yoga called. So these are called as the asanas, or in English we call them as the postures. So the positions that you take, the way you move your hand, the way you move your leg, the way you breathe, okay, all these together they form the yoga asanas or the asanas of the yoga or the postures. Now, as a human being, sometimes children, our body tends to not be well all the time. Sometimes we fall sick. Sometimes we have pain some here and there in our body. Okay, and you know that as we grow older, you must be looking at your uncles, your aunts, your parents, your grandparents. They have a little bit health issues as compared to you. You are young now, you are just 12 years old, 13 years old. But as you grow older, you will see that your body becomes weaker and your body also develops certain problems, isn't it? But if you learn to practice yoga from a very young age, children, what will happen is you will be better equipped to face these changes which will start happening in your body. Okay, so that is why we should learn to practice yoga, we should learn to do yoga on a daily basis. Now, all this, the awareness about yoga as a discipline for health, for and how it is a culture of physical and mental and spiritual discipline, all this started, all this awareness started in the year 2015. And since 2015, all over the world, we are celebrating 21st of June as the International Yoga Day. Now, yoga is said to have its origins in our country, India. So, in the ancient times, the yogis, the munis, the hermits, the sadhus, they used to practice all the asanas of yoga. and they had complete control over their mind as well as their bodies. Okay, so let us learn a little bit more about this. So yoga is a culture of physical, mental and spiritual discipline perfected in ancient India. So we can proudly say that the our country India has given yoga to the world. Okay, so yoga is a gift that we Indians have given to the world. And here what do? We try to strike a balance between the mind and the body. So is yoga a religion, children? Because we have heard and we have learned that there are many religions which have originated in our country. For example, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, all these religions have their origin in our country. So is yoga also a religion? Not at all. Yoga is not a religion, but it is a way of living towards a healthy mind in a healthy body. So if you practice yoga, you will learn how to keep your mind and your body healthy. Now, if you have to keep your mind and your body healthy, means you have to maintain a balance between your mind, between your body and your soul. So now there are many people who will say that mind and the soul are the same thing. Okay, we can see the body, but we cannot see the mind, we cannot see the soul. But whatever it is, when we say mind means the thoughts that we have, the soul means the experiences, the feelings that we have. So what does yoga do? Yoga tries to bring about a balance between these three. Let me give you a small example. Sometimes we want to eat things which are not healthy. We know that these things are not supposed to be eaten. They are not good for our body, but our body starts craving these things. We feel like drinking bottles and bottles of Pepsi. Okay, we feel like eating packets and packets of potato chips, which we know is not good for us. So the mind is telling us not to eat it, but your body is craving for it. But when you strike a balance between your mind and your body, you will know that you should drink just half a glass of Pepsi and 4 potato chips. That is enough, okay, to satisfy the craving of your soul. So what have you done here? You have eaten, but you have not gone beyond a limit. You have brought about a balance between your mind, your body and your soul. So which discipline helps you to do this? It is yoga, which helps you to maintain a balance between your mind, your body and your soul. Okay, now let us talk a little bit about the benefits of yoga. How does yoga help you in your life? We of course know that it creates some balance between mind and body, but let us now try to analyze and let us now try to see points where we can see exactly how yoga helps us in our life. So it gives you flexibility. Now I told you, there are certain points which you might not understand now, you will understand it later when you grow up. You will be able to see that your mother is not able to bend down. Your grandmother, if something falls on the floor, she's not able to pick it up. Why is that so? Because she's lost her flexibility. But if you continue doing yoga from a very young age, and if you keep doing it on a daily basis, your flexibility will be maintained for a long time. All right, you will gain a strength. So any exercise helps you to gain strength. Okay, you will become aware about your body, about the balance of your body and about coordination. Coordination means when you walk, when you talk, there will be balance. When you do certain things, there will be balance. This is a very important point for us children. Attention and behavior will be regulated. Sometimes you see when you are in the class and your teacher is teaching you something, your mind tends to go to other places. Physically you are there in the class, but mentally you're thinking about the pani puri wala gadi, you're thinking about a movie, so many other things. So yoga will help you to control all these instincts. Okay, it will teach you to pay attention and to regulate and control your behavior. Yoga will also develop your mental skills and development of language. Yoga will also help you to develop your social skills. Social skills means how you speak to others, how you talk to others, how you make friends, and everything else. So you can see how important yoga is for us. All right. So this was about the importance of yoga or the benefits of doing yoga. Now I told you in the beginning of the lesson we are going to talk about certain new terms which you might not have heard about before. So there is this term biomimicry, which we associate with certain asanas in yoga. So before we go and talk about the asanas which have been mimicked from bio, that is from the living things other than human beings, let us understand what is biomimicry. So the definition of biomimicry is the development of artificial products or machines that mimic. Okay, what is mimic now? Mimic means to copy. Have you seen people like Johnny Liver doing mimicry of actors? Johnny Liver tries to talk like Shah Rukh Khan. Johnny Liver tries to talk like Nana Patekar. What is he doing? He's copying or he's mimicking that person. Okay. So when biomimicry is done, what are you doing? We are developing artificial products or machines that are copied or are inspired by biological phenomena. Certain things which are happening in nature. Okay, when you try to make a copy of that and you try to use it in your life, then that is called as biomimicry. Now, biological phenomena could also be plants or animals. So, isn't it simple? So, biomimicry, the word was so difficult, isn't it? But see, the meaning is so simple. Now, when I show you examples of biomimicry, you will understand it better. See, biomimicry. Can you see? The lizard climbs on walls. Does it ever fall off? Never it falls off. Why? Because it has got a kind of a, you can say, you have seen Spider-Man? How Spider-Man climbs on walls and he doesn't fall? Because he mimics the spider. So we have learnt a lot of things on how to hold on to things. You must have seen people cleaning the exterior of buildings. Okay, so they make use of Velcro, they make use of such things on their hands, and we are mimicking the animals like lizards, spiders, etc. Okay, see this? The Japanese bullet train is actually a design which is a biomimicry of the kingfisher. So have you seen this bird, the kingfisher? Look at its nose, look at the shape of its face. So the shape of the face of the kingfisher is so similar to the Japanese bullet train, isn't it? So this is also an example of biomimicry. You can search on Google, children. You will find many more examples. Okay. Now there is a limitation to how many examples I can show you here. But if you want to see more examples of biomimicry, you can go on to Google and just type biomimicry. I will try and show you some more examples. See here. Now this boy wants to ride a bicycle. And what happens when you want to ride a bicycle? You're scared of falling also if you do not know to ride it well. What will you do? You will use this helmet, isn't it? To protect your head from breaking if you fall. Have you seen a tortoise? How does a tortoise protect its body? It also uses a kind of helmet on its body. So we have copied this design from the tortoise. The design or the idea of protecting ourselves with something hard. Okay, so this is an example of biomimicry. Let me show you one more example. Have you seen these kind of suction cups used at home? You will see it on the legs of the dining table. You will see it hanging in the bathrooms. People use it as bathroom hangers. You will see that there are screws attached to this. Okay, you will see there are hooks attached to this. So why do people use this? Because it can stick to a particular place. It has got this suction kind of capacity in itself. Let us look at an animal. Have you seen this animal? Not in real life, but you must have seen it on TV, on National Geographic, etc. Have you seen these tentacles or the arms? This animal is the octopus. Okay, see, let's take a closer look at the arms of the octopus. Can you see any similarity between the cups on the arms of the octopus and the suction cup over here? All right. So these are all examples of biomimicry. You can think and you can try and find out many more examples of biomimicry. Why do we associate biomimicry with yoga now? So like I told you, there are many poses in yoga which are borrowed from nature, from plants and animals. Let us look at some of the poses. So this is the palm tree pose. We call it as the Tadasana. Okay, palm tree, the tad. Now, just like the palm tree sways gently from side to side, in the beginning you raise your hands, stretch your body, and then you sway from side to side. This is the Tadasana. We call it as the palm tree pose, and it is an example of biomimicry in yoga. Let us look at a few more examples, and then we will go to animals, which is the main part of our lesson for today. Okay, see this. This is the tree pose. We call it as the Vrikshasana. The tree is called as the Vriksha in Hindi. Okay, Vrikshasana, the tree pose. All right, let's look at some more. See, this is a triangle pose or the Trikonasana. This is not borrowed from nature, but this is borrowed from a geometric shape. The trikon or the triangle. Isn't it wonderful how yoga has borrowed from nature and from other things as well? So now, before you start doing yoga, children, there are certain things which are very important to be considered. So you should always have a yoga instructor or a yoga teacher. Okay, if you are a beginner means if this is the initial stages where you started doing yoga, when you start doing yoga in the beginning, you need someone who will tell you the right way of doing it, because yoga is very useful, of course, but if you do it the wrong way, then there might not be any benefit for you. So you should always do it under the presence of a yoga teacher, or you should join a yoga class so that you can learn the basics of how you should do the asana and how you shouldn't. The next important thing is the place where you're doing yoga should be clean, airy, and well lit. So it should be a room which is clean and which there is a lot of fresh air for you to breathe, and there is enough light also. Some people also do yoga out in the open like this. Okay, this is also a very good experience, but then you should look at the season. If it is raining heavily, you should not go out in the open and in the rain and do yoga. Alright, so these points you should remember. Then you will see that you should always make use of a yoga mat. So can you see this girl? She's not doing it directly on the floor. You might injure your muscles. So you should always make use of a yoga mat in order to do yoga. So these are the basics that when you start doing yoga, you should think of and you should consider all these things. Moving on, there is one very important thing. You should do yoga either in the morning, before you have your breakfast, before you have your nashta, okay, in the morning, or in the evening before you have your dinner. So always remember, you should not do yoga on a full stomach. After eating, you should never try to do yoga. So it should be in the mornings. So 6 o'clock I think is a good time in the morning. Okay, you get up and you freshen up, and from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock you do yoga, and then you have your breakfast. In the evening also around 6 o'clock, 6:30, you do your yoga for an hour, and then you have your dinner at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Okay, so these are important things that you should remember before you start doing yoga. Now let us go and practically look at some of the yogasanas, and we will let us connect to the lesson that we are doing today. Let us try to see the yoga poses with animal names. That is, the yoga poses which are borrowed from the postures of animals. So you have the butterfly pose, that is the Badakonasana. Can you see this one? Butterfly pose, the Badakonasana. Then you have the next pose, that is a dog pose, the Adhomukha Svanasana. Okay, we are not going to look at all of them in detail. We are just going to look at the ones which are there in our textbook in detail. So the dog pose or the Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then you have the camel pose. Okay, that is the Ustrasana. Okay, Then you have the cat pose, that is the Marjaryasana, the cat pose. Then you have the swan pose, the Hamsasana. And finally you have the cobra pose. That is very dangerous to look at, isn't it? The Bhujangasana. Out of this, we will look at the Bhujangasana. There is one more called as the Simhasana and the Marjaryasana today. The remaining, that is Garudasana and the Ustrasana plus the grammar part, we will do it in the next part of the lesson. So come on, let us see a few poses in detail. Now children, yoga is something which I cannot teach you here on a video. You can watch the video of course and take ideas. But do not try to practice yoga by looking at this video, because I'm not teaching you yoga here. I'm teaching you English. Okay? So let us try to get an idea of what these different poses are. You can keep your textbook also open. That will be good for your reference. So you have the Bhujangasana. So what is the Bhujangasana? The Bhujangasana, it looks like the cobra with its hood raised. That is why it is called as the Bhujangasana. So how to do a cobra pose? So first you will lift up your chest, you will expand it forward and up like this. Your hands will be in front of your body, fingers will be spread wide, your elbows will be little bent, your thighs will be on the ground, your knees will be little lifted, okay, and the feet also will be touched to the ground. Your shoulders will be back like this, like her back, and your lower back will be straight. So this is how you will look if you're doing a Cobrasana, or you can call it as a Bhujangasana. Alright. Now let us look at a little other things about Bhujangasana. See, this is how this Didi here is doing the Bhujangasana. Can you see how she is doing it? There she goes down. She raises herself. Look at her arms, look at her back, look at her shoulders, her neck, her legs. Okay? So it is not a very difficult asana, children. It is quite a simple one. The Bhujangasana. This is a yoga pose that we have learnt from animals. That is from the cobra, to be specific. What are the health benefits of Bhujangasana? It helps to stretch the muscles in your shoulders, chest and abdomen. Your stomach, shoulders, chest will become very strong. It will relieve you of stress. So all the yogasanas will relieve you of stress. You will become stress-free. Your spine will become stronger. The spine is the backbone. It will become stronger. And it will improve your digestion. Okay? It will improve the health of your heart, and it will help you to concentrate. It will improve your focus. Okay, so these are the benefits of doing Bhujangasana. Let us move on and let us look at the next one, Simhasana. So this is like the roar of a lion. A Simha means a lion. Can you see the cartoon of the lion also on the slide for you? Okay. Simhasana. So let us look at the Simhasana now. So if you want to do the Simhasana, first you will sit straight with your legs stretched out. Then you will start pulling your leg in. Okay? You will sit in the position like this. You will stretch forward, move forward, and you will start roaring like a lion. You will put your tongue out and you will roar like a lion. A Simhasana. Okay, how will you do the Simhasana? That you can see in a detailed video on yoga if you want to learn it. What are the health benefits of Simhasana now? It prevents constipation. That means your stomach will be clear. Okay, it will help to remove stress. I told you, every yogasana will help you to remove stress. It will be good for your heart. It will help in digestion. Every yogasana. So here this also will improve your digestive health. It will help you to reduce your back pain. So now you are children, okay? You might not be having back pain, but now if you know about this asana, you can tell your mother, you can tell your father, you can tell your nani, dadi that if you're having back pain, you should try to do the Simhasana. It is good for your face, your eyes, your throat, your tongue. Alright, because you're exercising your face, facial muscles, and it is good for your thyroid, it is good for your heart. So these are the benefits of Simhasana. Let us go to our last asana for today, children. We have 30 minutes lessons, isn't it? So what we will try to do is we will do the remaining part next time, like I told you. So we will look at the next asana for today, that is the Marjaryasana, or we call it as the cat pose. This is also a yoga exercise or a asana for beginners. That is for people who are just starting to do yoga. Now you must have seen Swami Ramdev Baba doing yoga on TV. He simply twists and turns his body. When you look at him doing yoga, you wonder whether there are bones in his body. But remember, you should not try to do it now. We are all beginners. So we should try to start with these simple exercises which are there in your textbook. Alright. So the next one I told you is the Marjaryasana, or it is also called as the cat pose. It is very important for strengthening the muscles of your stomach and your back. So see, this is how the Marjaryasana is done. Can you see this Didi doing Marjaryasana here? So what do? You kneel down on your hands and knees. You place your knees, hands at shoulder distance apart. Like see, she's placed her hand like this. You inhale, means you take in air. You tilt your head back. You push your stomach down. And you hold this pose for 1 minute. Okay? After that, you come back to the normal position. And you should try to do this 5 to 6 times every day. So this was the cat pose or the Marjaryasana. Okay. Now there are many benefits also of the Marjaryasana. Now see, you can see some common benefits now. So it improves digestion is a common benefit. It relieves your mind of stress is a common benefit. So let us look at the other benefits. It gives flexibility to your spine, to your back, to the backbone which is there. It gives flexibility. It makes it flexible, so it will not pain. All right. It will improve your digestion because it works on your abdomen. It will improve blood circulation. It will relax your mind. It will relieve you of stress. It will improve any kind of back pain that you have. And it will improve the posture or the position of your body. Okay, children? So today we talked about yoga. We talked about how yoga is an ancient, you can say art form, or it's an ancient form of exercise which has developed in our nation. So yoga is a gift to the world which India has given. We also saw how people are becoming increasingly aware of the benefits of yoga. So from 2015 onwards, we celebrate 21st of June every year as the International Yoga Day. That is not only people in India, but people the world over celebrate this day as the International Yoga Day. We also talked about a very important concept, that is the concept of biomimicry. And we learned what the meaning of biomimicry is. And I tried to show you a number of interesting examples of what biomimicry is. And then we looked at what are the precautions you should take when you start doing yoga in the beginning. And finally, we looked at these three, you can say, interesting asana for beginners. That is the Bhujangasana, which is a very, very simple asana, and Bhujangasana is derived from the Sanskrit word Bhujanga, which means a cobra. That is when the cobra raises its hood, and when you do the Bhujangasana, you look almost the same. Okay. And then we talked about the Simhasana or the lion pose. all right, where you exercise all your facial muscles. And then finally, we talked about the Marjaryasana or the cat pose and how it is important to strengthen the body, that is, particularly the muscles of the abdomen and the back. And like we discussed in the beginning of this lesson today, children, we will be doing part 2 of the lesson, learning yoga from animals, in the next video. So wait for my next video.
So children, wasn't that a wonderful video? And did you enjoy watching it? So if you want to watch more such videos in future, then please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, the MCGM Portal for Education, and also hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video here. Thank you so much for now. Let's meet again soon.